Ukraine has said it will not step down due to Russian pressure amid growing hostility along the border between the two countries. Ukraine's Defense Minister Andrii Taran said Russia was trying to force Kiev to give up negotiations by increasing its military presence at the border. Even so, he stressed that Ukraine would not stop fighting. Russia's real aim is to build a military along Ukraine's borders and in the temporarily occupied territories of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea, perhaps increasing pressure on Ukraine for the purpose of forcing it to give up in the negotiation process. The flames of hostility that Russia is burning are only to be tamed by political and diplomatic means. Ukraine initially aimed for a civilized way of restoring temporarily occupied territories. However, there should be no compromise in terms of defending Ukraine's interests, he added as quoted by The Hill, Monday, December 4, 2021. The remarks marked the latest spike in escalating tensions between Kiev and Moscow. Later in his statement, Taran called on Western countries to reject Russia's latest threat, acknowledging that Ukraine itself would be too weak to fight the country's aggression. The Russian Federation must understand that any aggression and active escalation in the security environment will lead to a clear and strong response from the international community. The most convincing and effective mechanism to present a firm, sustainable and uncompromising position from the international community to Moscow officials, especially European and Euro-Atlantic countries in support of Ukraine. Ukraine last week announced it would hold joint military exercises with NATO forces later this year, following Russian military maneuvers. Meanwhile, United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken held a phone call with his French and German counterparts on Friday in which they discussed the importance of supporting Ukraine against Russian unilateral provocations along the line of contact in eastern Ukraine, in occupied Crimea, and along the Ukrainian border, and the need for Russia to immediately halt its military buildup and inflammatory rhetoric. Fighting between the Ukrainian military and Russian-backed separatists in the east of the country has escalated, and Russia's military buildup on the border is just the latest in a series of aggressive postures. The Kremlin has threatened to violate borders, with senior Kremlin official Dmitry Kozak last week warning that Russia would be ready to defend citizens living in eastern Ukraine.